We almost round tripped, man.
Oh, just like the markets, just like
Yeah,
these
well,
bags.
yeah, man. We almost round tripped the show, man. I don't want to do that. All right. Well, welcome on and welcome all to DeFi Crypto and Airdrops. I am Mike, aka Veteran Crypto, and with me, as always, is Jeff, aka the Blockchain Report. How's it going, brother?
Well, I survived the liquidation event. Thankfully, I didn't have any open trades, but my bag sure that plume really went down to zero almost, man. I'm sad that I didn't have any dry powder. And fucking Coinbase, man. Oh, that 7 day waiting period. I hate that so much. So much.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, Josh? How's it going, brother?
Aloha. He's out in
I,
Hawaii,
I
right?
Yeah, I need to get back to him. He hit me up about something, and I sent him a message, and it was like the wrong location. I need to get back with him. I freaking had so much going on. I
Oh, shit.
apologize, brother. Yeah, no, it's I actually had dry powder, and I was trying everything. I mean, I was trying to swap for things. I was trying to buy. I was trying to freaking onboard dirty fiat. I mean, I was trying everything I could do just to
Mm.
freaking try to get into the market at those prices, man. I mean, holy shit. I mean, some of them dipped down. I think what was it that dipped down to like 1 cent? Atom, Cosmos
Oh
went
yeah.
down to 1 cent. And I was just like, if I can just get a buy order in on anything right now, and we're gonna get into that. I have a little bit of a conspiracy theory, a little tinfoil hat, thought that I shared with Jeff earlier, and I actually messaged Drew over at Blockchain Basement to see what he thought about it. But I did a little bit of rough research, pulled some numbers, and found something kind of interesting. So we'll get into that. So before we get going, I'm gonna holler out, a couple people here in the chat. Josh, freaking longtime listener, freaking our brother over in Hawaii. How you doing, brother? We got Rico, we got Chili Rainbow, and Rick Dunn. Bro, you gave me mod.
Mod.
Oh yeah, moderator. Yeah, no problem, brother. Um, this big quick flush out seems like the best case scenario to unwind leverage. We are definitely gonna get into that declined or
Yeah.
declined. But yeah. Anyway, we're not gonna bring up. We're gonna keep this really casual tonight. I have a drink. We're just gonna freaking shoot the shit a
Mhm.
bit. And but if you could show us a little bit of love, throw us a like. If you're not and you're on the channel on YouTube, if you could give us a follow. We don't monetize here. All of this is out of pocket, so we are under no pressure to shill anything, to push anything. Everything that you hear here on this channel is 100% our genuine thoughts and feelings on projects or whatever topic. We are not bought and paid for in any way whatsoever. So if you could throw us a like, throw us a follow, and with that, let's get right into it. So yeah, basically, I before this happened, I owned 0 Bitcoin, and after this happened, I had an aha moment, and I am going to fully admit that I was wrong. I honestly, the whole time that I was trying to buck the system, and I was all in on alts, and waiting for my 10x that I keep talking about, and and then my thought process was I'll make my 10 plus X. That's more money than I would have made if I was all in on Bitcoin, and then I'll use that to build my Bitcoin bag, plus some. That was my whole logic. But after the shenanigans on Friday and seeing how fragile these markets still are, even where we're at, with 3 trillion ish market cap, total market cap for crypto, and then I aped into Bitcoin. at about it was about 112,000, I think, is what I ended up getting it, and I bought about 5 grand. And since I have a couple of longs I've been working with some different assets, and I got about another grand that I've peeled off. So I'm about to buy another when I see an opportunity, another $1,000, and I still have about $1,000 working in longs, and I'm just basically using it to farm Bitcoin. And the longs are in Bitcoin, but they're like eight x long. So
Okay, nice.
I mean, I went on a little bit of a freaking diarrhea of the mouth there for a minute, but real quick, to open this up, with that sense of that I'm, I've been converted, after seeing how Bitcoin performed, during that, all those shenanigans on Friday. But why don't you tell me what what Friday did to you? I mean, how has it changed anything in your way of thinking or your thesis on how you play the tag? I mean, did it do anything other than just kind of freak you out a little bit?
Oh shit. I was in the middle of a work meeting and then I had another work meeting right afterwards. Like at two, it was 2 o'clock. And during the meeting, just had the charts pulled up and I was like, oh shit. And I didn't have any dry powder. I had thought earlier last week, oh, let me send some money to Coinbase, and I didn't do it. So I was sitting there watching the markets tank, and I saw Plume go down to 1 cent, and I was so sick that I couldn't buy anything. And it's not just having dry powder on a centralized exchange. You want to have it in your wallets to where, because I heard people on Spaces all day today talking about decentralized exchanges work perfectly. They didn't have any issues with Uniswap, and other protocols that weren't centralized. And I was just really sick that I couldn't take advantage of that Plume 1 cent dip because one, I had my stuff in the liquidity pool, and of course it went out of range, and I wasn't going to swap out of it at 1 cent because that would have
Yeah.
been just suicide.
Oh, dude. Yeah. No, absolutely not. There was no way I was selling. I mean, that didn't
No.
even cross my fucking mind.
And so I was just like, fuck. So that night I went to Coinbase and I was in the Discord chat, and I so 3 months ago was the last time I sent any money to Coinbase, and I didn't have a problem with the 7 day hold. It didn't say, oh, we're going to hold it for 7 days. I was able to buy it with my bank account. And normally they'll say whether or not they're going to put a hold on your assets. And
Yeah.
it didn't
Yeah.
say anything.
No,
So
I saw you in the Discord. You were like, "Holy shit, 7 days! I gotta wait before I can
yeah,
use
yeah,
use the
because I've
fund."
gotten hit by that before. And
Was
lo and
it
behold,
because
I
of
guess
the
they
amount? Was it the amount?
no, I mean, it was like $600. And
Oh, that's
no, I mean,
it.
I spent like five, six. Yeah. So I think they had changed their terms and conditions, is what somebody was saying in the Discord. And
Because
just
I've
like, two or
like
three
what was
months ago,
what was the exact process? Because I have never had those issues.
I did the same thing I did the past 6 times
Well, I
I
mean, like,
bought
did you
on
purchase
Coinbase. It
using a
was,
checking account or did you do a wire
yeah, I used it.
transfer?
No, my checking account. And, the
Really?
past times I even looked at the transactions and it
Well,
was
let me
immediate.
look. Let me.
So they said to link your PayPal account and you can do it automatically through that. So I, sent like $300 through PayPal and it did it automatically and I was able to withdraw it. So I'm, I think if you have the Coinbase one or not,
Maybe,
yeah,
you know
Coinbase
what? Maybe
one.
that's it. Because I do
Yeah.
have Coinbase One and I have the card. But
And now that they changed their terms and conditions, like
okay, you know
within
what?
the last time I did it and now,
You know what? I'm gonna
so,
look it up anyway, just because, I mean, for the
oh,
viewers. I wanna see if if they have changed their terms and conditions. Maybe in the chat. Let us
man.
know if any of you have had problems with Coinbase.
It was just I was kind of frustrated because one, being in the work meetings, I was like, fuck, I got to pay attention, and I can't really, do all this moving money around, and also I know from previous liquidations and crazy market dumps, none of the exchanges are going to work. So you'd be like hitting the lottery trying to send money back and forth, and people were having all kinds of issues, and Binance had their shit, and
Oh, no, no, we'll
it was
go through all that. I got the receipts. I actually went and did like deep research, kind of like back when me and Drew were doing the freaking blockchain black site, and we
mm-hmm.
talk about conspiracy theories and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um, I actually
there's
I
a
went and did,
lot.
well, I went and did some deep research, and there's some concerning shit. And like I
Well,
said,
you
we'll
have
get to
World Liberty Fi that dumped about a few hours before the whole liquidation event, and then Wintermute moving stables, and
it. Yeah.
there's like it's a whole different like octopus of things.
Okay, so this is what I found. Yes, there is typically a waiting period when buying cryptocurrency on Coinbase using a linked bank account via ACH, automated clearinghouse transfer. This hold is a security measure to ensure the funds clear and prevent fraud, and generally lasts 7 days from the time the deposit is initiated, though it can vary by account history, location, and other factors, sometimes extending to 10 days or more. Okay. So it looks like you're not in as good standing with Coinbase as I am.
Yeah, no shit. And it changed within the last 3 months because, like I said, the six times or seven times before that, I looked and it was my bank account that I used,
Yeah.
and it was fine, immediate availability. And then now I was like, God damn it! But there was nothing that said, oh, because I made sure to look. I was like, okay, is there going to be a hold on this, or else I'll do something else? And there was nothing that said it. So that's what really pissed me off more is like if you're going to hold it, at least have it say in the transaction that this will be held for 7 days, because USDC or other assets, if you try and do it with, it'll hold it. But USDC has been, their since their main product. So yeah, I was like, come on, Coinbase.
All right. So I'm getting hot. Oh, whew. All right. So
What up,
Stan,
Stan? We got a
I'm gonna
lot. Yeah, nice.
I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get into it, Stan. So let's get into what I found. And by all means, chat. If I'm off on any of this, if you want to, they can fact check me, please do. I'm all about the truth. I'm all about facts. It's not about being right or wrong. I want to get to the truth. So please, if something sounds off to you, call me out on it. I will not take offense. All right. So supposedly they're saying the triggering event was, and I'm going to summarize Donald Trump's tweet about China and the tariffs. That supposedly is what kicked it off. After that, you had the immediate market reaction. Bitcoin plummeted over 10% in under 24 hours, dropping from a recent all-time high of 126,000 to below 110,000 initially, and a low as 102 to 104,000 in the chaos. Ethereum fell 16% under 3,700, while altcoins like XRP, Solana, and Doge cratered to 20 to 30% or more. The scale of the crash, the total crypto market capitalization erased 400 to 1 trillion in value. The what I heard was, what was it? It was 20 billion?
20 billion. Yeah, because
Yeah,
the Argentina thing was
that's right.
kind of
Yep.
gave
It
me a
was
little.
coincidentally the same
Yeah.
amount of money. That's a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down. So basically, about 20 billion is the agreed upon number that I've heard, within hours, making one of the sharpest single day drops in history, and a flash crash that hit hardest outside traditional trading hours, exposing vulnerabilities in weekend liquidity. Usually, Fridays, like the latter part of Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday, is very low volume. So it's a lot easier for them to manipulate the markets. So So do with that as you will. All right. So liquidation cascade. Over 19 billion in leveraged positions were wiped out, the largest liquidation event in crypto history. To put it in perspective, I believe it was like 1.7 billion for FTX, something like that. Again, call me out
Um,
on it. I know it's one
yeah, with
point something.
all of them, that and COVID and everything put together, this was bigger than all of those.
Yeah,
But then
I
again, you
mean,
also have a bigger market now than then, but still, that's
not by much, not by
not.
much, nowhere near the scale. It's not proportional. The
Yeah,
change in the total market cap, it wouldn't be proportional to the adjustment to from like 1 point something billion and 20 billion. It's not a
yeah,
20x or 10x. We'll say. As far as market cap, because what in the depths of the bear market, we were at like 2 point something billion or trillion, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
And
anyway,
Celsius, right? What was that? Because how there were like three or four different events: the COVID, the FTX. Oh, Luna. That's
well, there's
right.
Terra Luna, Three Arrows, all that. There's been quite a bit that's gone down. All right. So next, um, Bitcoin and Ethereum alone accounted for 2.6 billion, with 16 to 17 billion from long positions, amplifying the sell-off through automated margin calls. Next, platform and technical issues. Exchanges like Binance, and keep in mind, like Jeff said earlier, that it was only centralized exchanges. It was not decentralized exchanges or DeFi. So exchanges like Binance faced backlash for frozen accounts, failed stop loss orders, and we'll circle back to that because that is important. And display glitches in wallets like Binance and Trust Wallet, exacerbating user panic and losses during the turmoil. Something at a much smaller scale happened at the end of the last bull market. I know when Shiba Inu, the volumes got so large that Coinbase went down. Because I remember I was trying to sell my Shiba Inu well in profit. And by the time it came back up and I was able to sell, I only got like maybe a 2x, maybe 3x. So I, I
Oh
made
yeah.
money. Awesome. But I got in before it had pumped at all. So I can only imagine the people that were, a 2x or 3x and trying to get out. And when it came back up, they were in the red. So, it's nowhere near this, but it shows vulnerabilities in these platforms. And if we're going to invest using these platforms, we need to be realistic about what to expect when stuff like this happens. I mean, basically you can be proactive or reactive. You can have all of your assets on a centralized exchange. And when it comes time to where you want to sell, are you going to be able to sell? Or are you going to self custody? Are you going to keep stuff, off of centralized exchanges so you have options? A lot of people talk about keeping your, crypto, your keys, your crypto, not your keys, not your crypto saying, but
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of people talk about, okay, what happens when the exchanges don't work? Your liquidity's on there. You're trying to sell because everything's pumped, and you're trying to get out, and you can't. It's now if you have it in a self custody wallet, hot wallet or cold wallet, potentially you have all kinds of options. If Binance isn't working, go to Coinbase. If Coinbase isn't working, go to Kraken. If Kraken isn't working, go to Aerodrome and swap, between your currency and a stable coin. There is a lot more options. You can go to fucking D-Bridge and, if I can be bridging, different things. There's a lot of different options. So these are the things that, I mean, I had thought about, but really this drove it home for me. And I want to make sure that all of you out there understand this. I don't want you to get caught with your assets locked on a centralized exchange. I don't want, for you to, have life changing money, but not be able to cash in and have it be realized. You need to make these changes now if you're going to make them. I'm not saying move your money off exchanges. Your money, do with what with it as you want. But keep in mind, this isn't a one-off time, because of the scale of this incident. Like I said, one meme coin brought down all of Coinbase last cycle. I'm sure that they've made adjustments since then, but this latest freaking fiasco shows you even Binance, the largest centralized exchange on the planet for crypto, stop losses didn't work.
Yeah.
How the hell did that happen? I can
When
understand.
now they're offering like a refund up to like 200 million or something. When
Well,
they, how much did they make off of that though?
exactly. Like last I looked,
Here's
they
your
had
little
paid out.
dust.
Yeah, they had paid out 250 million, but I guarantee they got a lot more than that so far. So we're going to get into something. Let me finish this real quick, and we'll discuss this, and then I want to move into my conspiracy theory. All right. So,
You know if Miles
um,
saw it coming? Stan asked. Did
what's that?
Miles see this? Did
Damn
Miles
it!
see this coming?
Miles did not tell me. Miles is like that guy in our Discord that
Oh
like
yeah.
days after the fact, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, this guy in my trading group saw this dump coming," and we're like, "Why the fuck didn't you?" I mean, not that I would have listened. I mean, let's be real. Fucking, we're all waiting for the for the bull market or the alt season. It's about to kick off any moment now. Is what
Neo.
everybody's saying, and somebody's going to be like, "The market's about to."
Oh man. Oh.
I want to touch on that too. By a prominent Ukrainian crypto blogger, unverified claims over 1,600 traders, some taking their lives. That hasn't been verified. I mean, I'm sure that there was some people, and there was one I want to talk about in particular, highlighting the emotional toll of leveraged trading and rapid wealth erosion. So before we move on, the Ukrainian crypto dude, I wonder if it was suicide or if he got suicided, because
Yeah.
some of the reports I was reading is he was actually the portfolio manager for the Ukrainian intelligence agency. I guess they had a couple $100,000 in crypto assets that he was managing for them. Unverified, but it was an article that I was reading, and it made that claim. We'll say that. He was found
Mm-hmm.
in his Lamborghini with a gunshot head to his wound to his head. I'm like, all right, you know,
Yeah, I knew that there was going to be a lot of people either, taking their own life or something like that, where you're managing these powerful people's portfolios, or kind of like a hedge fund where you're just managing a basket and it goes down and you're over leverage. Like that's the over leverage that you just can't fuck with, or at least reduce your exposure enough to where if it goes down, 30-40%, you're not going to get taken for everything.
I'll be honest, dude. The whales that I was hearing about that lost everything, I don't feel bad for them. They rolled
Mm,
the dice and came up snake eyes.
yeah.
I mean, if you put your whole, if you have tens or hundreds of millions of dollars and you're putting it all on fucking, black to win, it's like,
Yeah.
and you're using leverage. Like you could live comfortably for the rest of your fucking life, no problems at all, and be very conservative in your investing. And you put it all in the casino. I do not feel sorry for you. The people I feel sorry for are the people that have like 5 grand, 10 grand, and they're maxed out on their credit cards because of inflation. They're struggling to pay the bills. They got two jobs, and they're trying to turn that 5 grand into 50 grand or 60 grand so that they can pay off some credit cards and get some breathing room. Those are the people
Hmm.
that I feel sorry for, and so yeah, I mean, that's what I'll say about that. But um all right. Suspicions of manipulation. On chain data revealed a whale opening a massive short position on Bitcoin and Ethereum days before the announcement, profiting 35 to 200 million, fueling speculation of insider trading or premeditated moves ahead of Trump's tariff reveal. I actually heard it was 30 minutes before.
Yeah, that's what everyone was saying. It was days before.
That's what I'm reading here. I mean, it's
Okay.
I've heard it multiple places that it was like 30 minutes before.
I mean that's even more sketchy. I mean, talk
Yeah.
about good timing, dude.
Oh, no. There's good timing and there's too good of timing. So let's keep going. All right. So quick recovery signs. We know it. We know we bounced again. I know my portfolio is pretty much back to where it was at before this all started.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Mine's
it's like
pretty.
it never happened. Other than all the $20 billion that got liquidated. Actually, I take that back. I lost $800. Was it 800? Maybe it's 600. No, it was 600. I lost $600. I had like a couple $100 longs in, and
Oh
at
yeah.
at one point they were in like some good profit. Like I had about $250 that I had made, and I was just being greedy because I thought that alt season was about to kick off. I'm like, let it ride, baby, let it ride. And yeah, we all know what happened with that. But um,
Yeah, the past few months I've been really kind of moving out of all these other random coins, a few $100 here and there, and under, and just kind of rolling them into my main DeFi liquidity pools.
mm,
Plume, Black, Linea. I think Linea is down like 200 or $300 for me still, but other than that, I mean, I didn't really take a severe hit, but yeah, just really trying to work on my DeFi portfolio and making sure that those are earning good for me instead of just holding a bunch of random shit that could be a lot worse. So I'm definitely grateful that it all bounced back. I was like, oh fuck, seeing a dump that bad, that it usually doesn't bounce back like it did. So that also showed me that this is coordinated for sure because it doesn't just bounce back like that normally.
I, I honestly, with the way everything was malfunctioning, platform wise, I couldn't
Hmm.
tell you, because you would think that if people had limit buy orders in, at lower levels, that those would have been triggering on the way down, and that would have helped, support the price. If there was this huge cascade of sell offs and liquidations, you would think if there was buy orders in, all below there, because there's got to be people out there that do that. I mean, honestly, it's something we should all start doing.
Oh,
I mean, like a lottery ticket. I mean, if you got the liquidity sitting on the platform, have a couple of buy orders in case your favorite crypto fucking wicks down, 50%, 40%.
yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I've seen
You know?
crypto Wendy O talk about that.
Oh,
She's
did
talked
she?
about it in the past where she has all these buy orders, limit buy orders on Bitcoin, even all the way down to like $12,000. And she's like, you never know, it might get that one wick that fucking.
Honestly, I'll be honest because I listened to her for years. Like when I first got into crypto, and I was listening to all the XRP stuff and whatnot. I was listening to her, Crypto Mason, Coach JV, and Good Morning Crypto. Really, really, those guys really good, positive vibes and stuff like that. Way too into XRP, but we won't go there.
Yeah.
Um,
You're
but I
right.
was listening because I was in all the ISO coins. So yeah, but that's and I'm sure she's a very intelligent young lady, but that's the first smart thing I've heard somebody say that she said because Out of
Uh,
everything that she ever said that I listened to, freaking none of it was good advice, other than buying Bitcoin.
yeah, I I hadn't watched her in a couple years. I follow her on Twitter and stuff, but yeah, some of the channels I just kind of like. I'm not really getting a lot of great stuff out of this, so
Yeah.
I just kind of stop watching them and move on to find other better resources.
Well,
But
there's that.
I know what you mean.
Well, what's that one chick? She lives down in Miami or something. She's from the UK. Very attractive young lady, and she's always has her cleavage in all of her shots. She always makes sure she has plenty of cleavage, and all she does is
Oh,
just basically tell you different ways why you should buy Bitcoin. She's just always
shit.
buy Bitcoin, and like flashing her cleavage. That's like all she does. She has like
Oh my
fucking
God.
hundreds of thousands of followers on social media.
Is that the I don't even know because there's so many
Uh,
different females, but I don't.
it
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It's just freaking
anything for clicks.
anyway. Yeah, no. Back to the original point, though. We got on a little bit of rabbit trail there. That is smart. Put in a bunch of buy orders. I mean, even if it's $100, $200. If you have $1,000 sitting on an exchange in liquidity, put it. It's just sitting there. You're not doing anything with it. Fuck, put in some buy orders. Some limit buy orders
Hmm.
just in case. So anyway, oh yes, she's close to me. She's good too. What? Hold on. What's going on in the chat here?
Oh, Crypto Wendy. She's. I think
Oh,
that's when we were talking about her. But
oh, okay,
then you
okay.
said
Yeah, I wasn't
the
sure. All
you
right.
said that one chick
So,
in Miami with the cleavage. I think that's what he was saying. She's close to me.
oh,
I don't know.
maybe. All right. So let's get into this. Let's go down the rabbit
It's the
hole a little
juice.
bit.
Yeah.
So something weird happened on Binance. If you're not familiar, there's a stablecoin called USDE, and it's Athena's stablecoin. Very prominent
Hmm.
in DeFi, a very, very prominent. David, the guy that is on the show on Wednesdays, runs DeFi University. Guy is probably in DeFi that I personally know, in our circles. He's the smartest dude that I have run into and interacted with as far as DeFi. He That's how he makes his living. He's totally debanked. I mean, the guy has it dialed in. Am I wrong, Jeff?
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah. So USDE depegged, but only USDE and only on Binance, not on any other
Hmm.
exchange. So that contributed
Strange.
to the cascade. I find that very fucking interesting that it only happened on Binance. Do you want to go down a little deeper?
Yeah. What's the oracles that they're switching to? Right? Is that
No.
part
What
of
about the
it?
oracles?
Uh, I think they brought it up on Discover Crypto this morning, where uh,
I was on the
Binance
road.
was
I wasn't
using
able to listen. I caught the very
yeah
end.
Binance was using their own kind of oracle system to track price movement and stuff, and I guess recently they're switching over to a new oracle system, and I think tomorrow is the day where they're like moving over, migrating over. So there's like a whole bunch of stuff where they're doing development work, and a lot of weird, things can go wrong in this time frame. Yep. So
Yeah, like
so
it's like I was born at night, but not last night.
not last night, man.
Well, like down in the South. You got them old Southern ladies, and they're like,
Mhm. Yep.
that means
Like
bullshit. That means I ain't
bullshit.
buying this shit,
Like, hey man, this stinks. This
right?
just all stinks.
Right? This is off-putting. All right.
Oh.
Let us know in the
No,
chat.
what you
What
got?
are you all thinking? Let's read some of these. Trump is going to pardon CZ. I heard some grumblings about that. Makes you wonder if they did a backroom deal. I didn't
God
think of
damn.
that. Declined. That's interesting. I did know about the pardon, but for some reason I didn't connect those two. That's good. That's good, Alpha. There. All right. Correct, Jeff. So there was an exploit, and it was exploited after they announced it. Oh, they exploited the exploit. All right.
Damn.
All right. Um, so next, this was not just geographical shock, but a structural failure. Extreme leverage, up to 100 to 200x on centralized exchanges like Binance, led to cascading margin calls, faulty Oracle pricing via Chainlink and Pith feeding distorted sex data to DEXs, and platform outages that prevented stop loss executions. The fallout exposed crypto's interconnected risks and with traditional markets, where the NASDAQ dropped 3.6%, and the VIX, the fear index for traditional finance, kind of like the fear and greed index for us, spiked 29 to 32%. So I did just some really rough number crunching, using the figures that we've just gone over. 20 billion of liquidations, freaking, using minimal leverage, 10, 20x. They were saying that it was as high as 100 to 200x, but just with 10 to 20x. Actually, let me pull it up real quick. Where are we at? So I did some research and I used Binance, seeing as that's where most of the technical issues seem to be focused. And what I did is figured out what the liabilities would have been for Binance. Say with all of the longs that were in, because
Hmm.
96% of that 20 billion was in longs, leveraged longs. So everyone was poised for what we thought was the coming, alt season, some more than others, to the tune of $20 billion. Now, if with just 10x leverage, do the math, 20 billion times 10, you're looking at $200 billion. Am I off? 10x,
Me.
20 billion times 10, 200
Oh yeah.
billion.
Yeah.
So $200 billion. So I looked at how much does Binance have on hand, user funds, but on hand in their treasury to pay out. If all of those longs hit just 10x or anything more, like no crazy gains, for alts, just if everything across the board got a 10x on average, could they pay that out, that 200 billion? So, looks like, let me see, Binance solvency, partially covered by insurance or SAFU corporate funds, and shorts, adding minor relief. Unlike the crash's 2.4 billion handling that was just on Binance. So basically, they only had, looks like about 15 billion of assets. And if somebody can look it up, in the chat, and I'm wrong on that 15 billion, let me know. But basically, they wouldn't have enough money to pay people out. So my
Mm-mm.
conspiracy theory is that this was all done to clear out all of those leverage longs, because it would have destroyed, if it would have destroyed Binance, the largest crypto platform on the planet, what do you think it would have done to Coinbase, Kraken, KuCoin, all those smaller exchanges?
Fuck.
Because we already said, I mean, look at the impact that FTX collapsing had on other crypto exchanges. There was a bunch of them that went out of business.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fraction of this. I mean, a very small fraction of this, as far as size. So that's my conspiracy theory.
Well, what's really been causing the BNB token to go crazy like this too recently? I mean, it's shot up huge in the past month, right?
Well, just it actually held up during this fiasco. Like it didn't dip like the rest of the market. I've actually heard rumblings, unconfirmed
No.
rumblings, that I haven't tracked the liquidity on chain, but there's been rumblings that Binance was using the the funds, their own funds, to prop up BNB token. To
Buyback token buybacks.
well, basically to make sure that it didn't move to the downside, so everybody be like, oh look, fucking, I'm going to ape into BNB because Binance, the BNB token didn't dip during all that. Either it didn't dip, or Binance is willing to buy it up to keep prop up the price. Basically they're showing that they're going to back up their product, I guess. So it's
So
a marketing thing. Again, I haven't confirmed that aspect of it, but that's the rumor going around.
I know Crypto
Oh yeah,
Face is
no,
he went hard.
enjoy this. Well, enjoy the suffering. I guess Aster did as well. Let's look at Aster.
Yeah, Crypto Face I saw was going hard on against Binance this weekend.
Yeah, he was.
Oh
I
shit.
I usually don't see many tweets from him, but he was
Mhm.
definitely coming out with claws out. Um, shit. Oh, Aster. Sorry, man. I'm drinking, so I'm talking too much as usual. Go ahead, brother.
Oh no, you're good. I see that Rico said it's Leia Helpern. Helpern is the chick from Miami. Yeah, I've seen
Oh yeah,
her some of her stuff, but
that is
I,
her. Thank you, Rico.
yeah, I just she just doesn't really seem very genuine.
No, she's not.
She's
It's
kind of like
she's
the Andrew Tate of female.
kinda she's yeah, because she's very right leaning. Like she's very conservative, and which is great. I mean, I'm right
Hmm.
leaning, but I think she's, and hats off to her. She's using what God gave her. She has she
Yeah,
has a she has a brain on her. She's an intelligent lady, very attractive, and she figured out that she can get a lot of engagement online, and she's making good money doing it. Hats off to her, but it doesn't mean I'm going to listen to her crypto advice, because basically, well, maybe I should have, because all she does is talk about buying Bitcoin. She's just like, buy Bitcoin because you should buy Bitcoin because here's my cleavage. It's just like,
yep.
so let's see. B has buy and burn, is what James Coney says. In 2024, Binance reported 100 billion in, see, and better try again. That's in user assets. I want to know how much assets Binance has to pay out. All of those longs. That not all of the 20 billion was on Binance. I think it was like around 2 billion that was on Binance, but 2 billion, $20 billion. Do they have $20 billion that they could have paid out to, those longs, or more? I mean, I'm just saying, 2 billion, if they all on average 10x, that's 20 billion they would have had to pay out. So, do they have 20 billion on hand to pay out? Let's see.
Oh man, it's like the banks. If
Yeah.
you all go withdraw your money, the bank's going to be on a bank run, and they're they're just going to. Oh no, you can't withdraw. Sorry.
Well, dude, it's happened. Bank runs. It happened in Greece. It's happened all in Venezuela. It's happened all around the world and throughout history.
Yep.
Run on banks. As soon as people see that the currency isn't worth shit, they rush to the bank to cash out so they can go exchange it for another currency. Buy silver, buy gold. Switch it for the Swiss franc, or fucking, British pound or whatever the fuck they can get a hold of, before it turns into toilet paper. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the photos in Venezuela, when it collapsed, there was
Hmm.
cash just fucking strewn all over in the streets. You needed
Yep.
like, a brick of cash like this to buy like 6 eggs.
Yep.
It was worthless. I mean, if you bought toilet paper with it, freaking, you could have had more toilet paper using the cash than you would have gotten in toilet paper. I mean, it literally wasn't worth shit paper.
Yeah, the dude
Uh,
that does my video editing, he lives in Greece, and he was
Beautiful
telling me back
country.
when they had the collapse, what, 10 years ago or 12, what was it, like 10, 15 years ago when they had the whole
I don't
collapse?
think it was that long, but it might have been. It might have been.
Yeah, he
Fucking
said it was
time.
crazy out there. Like, it's so corrupt. I mean, I thought it was bad here, but yeah, seeing all the currency in those different countries just being thrown around
Well,
when it's
dude,
like every couple days you have to get you have 100% inflation every couple days is
we're not too far. We're not fucking too far behind them. I mean, shit, we're getting like 8%, 9% inflation annually. I mean, that's what got me honestly into crypto. Was I saw that keeping money in the bank. If I've realized if I'm not holding something that's earning at least 8 to 10% annually, I'm losing money.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what it is, but if this you are losing spending power, and I know this is not new. You listen to any financial channel, any decent crypto channel, and they've been screaming this from the rooftops for years now. The debasement of the dollar and inflation and the flight to safety, and that's why I buy Bitcoin. And I'm not saying anything innovative here, but it's true. I mean, go to the grocery store. I know, not but a couple of years ago, I'd go to the grocery store and for a week's worth of groceries for me, buying freaking steaks, like, not budget, spending. I was buying steaks, a couple bottles of wine, maybe some freaking, garlic stuffed olives, I mean,
Yep.
some good food. And I was spending $100 a week, because I only eat dinners. Like, I don't eat a lot, but I eat good. When it's time to eat, I eat good quality food.
Hmm.
Quality over quantity. Nutrient dense, meats and things like that, vegetables. But now, shit, I blink and I price shop now, and it's $200 plus. In just a couple of years, my grocery bill has doubled. Utilities, rent, all of these things have like gone significantly up, and wages haven't gone significantly up. Are you making twice what you were making a couple of years ago?
Oh, fuck no. Nope. Not even close.
You know what I
Not even
mean?
not even a third.
That's what I'm saying. So there's some shit going on right now where, and I, I'm not smart enough to connect all the dots. Again, I'm just being real, but there's some serious fucking shenanigans going on right now between the printing of the dollar, what we saw in crypto the other day. The markets are way overbought. The stock market, way hot, way overinflated. Gold is breaking all-time highs. Silver is breaking all-time highs. People are buying gold and silver and Bitcoin and anything they can get a hold of that might be worth something. There is a flight from all fiat right now. Like, that's what it feels like. Is every freaking, the majority of people, it's a growing trend that more and more people, I think, are seeing the writing on the wall, and they're trying to get out of currencies, paper traditional currencies. There, I still think and believe in crypto because I believe that they are that this. I'm starting to think this was an orchestrated fucking event, not Friday, but crypto in general. Is It was presented as this way to buck the system. to remove yourself from the government, be self-sovereign, and all the things that we all thrive, or crave, for and hope for. And dude, like within a year or two, we went from decentralized, to where that was what crypto was all about, to where now, like a flip of the switch, institutions and governments have like taken it over. It's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Bad
And
actors.
well,
The
and
bad
on
actors
top
are
of
here
it,
now.
dude, well, and with crypto, it's all on chain, it's all visible. I mean, you want to talk about how to track people. I mean, shit, you can track their physical location from their cell phone, and you can track every single transaction they make, and everything that we're going to do in the future on Web3 is going to be trackable. Every movement you make, every thought you make, every transaction you do, your whole life is going to be monitored. It's it's inevitable now. It's, like I said,
Uh,
I'm putting my tinfoil hat on, but it's coming. It's not if, it's when.
I heard an interesting take from a crypto blood. He was talking about privacy coins like Zcash and Monero, and how
Look at it; they've been
uh,
pumping.
yeah, but here in a few years or next decade or so, when quantum computing and stuff comes out, even if you have these quantum resistant blockchains, the tech will be able to look back on these transactions and kind of decrypt them and actually see that it won't be private anymore. They'll be able to see like where these transactions went to and from. So your privacy coins might not be as private as they once were, and your transactions might not be able to be hidden. So,
Dude,
I know the
it's
digital ID thing is coming down, but in a way, like you said, we're already being tracked with everything, all of our social media accounts, our phones, um, the
I
transactions
it,
on the
dude.
blockchain.
I learned in the military with the technology that we use, like on deployments. The only way, and the reason that the Taliban and all that was as successful as they were against us, dude, they went dark ages. Most of them didn't use
Mm.
pagers and cell phones and stuff like that. There was specific people that used, things like that, but they were very smart about, those cell phones didn't travel with the person usually. They had them at, certain places where they would go to make phone calls, because they understood, if you have anything digital, if you have a pager, if you have a freaking cell phone, if you have anything these days, a smartwatch, you're fucking traceable.
Hmm.
It's remotely. They can turn on a camera, a microphone, listen to everything that's going on. I mean, you're basically carrying a bug with you. Just assume in this day and age, unless you're out in the middle of the woods with no cell phone reception and no internet, no electronic devices, just assume that everything you do and say is being monitored.
Your phone doesn't even have to be on. It can be
No.
turned off, and it's
Yep.
still. No, what is what? I mean, Rogan talked about it. He said he's had people in the government that he's talked to, and they said, "Leave your phone there. We're going on a walk."
Mhm.
Just just to talk to
Oh
him.
no, dude. There's a reason why before you go into a skiff, a military skiff, where
Mhm.
it's, basically, super secret room where, records are kept and conversations are had, and
Yep.
there's a totally separate internet that is, constantly monitored and secured and stuff like that, to have, meetings and, things like that, um, all around the globe. But basically, there's little cubbies, and outside the skiff, and that's where you stick your phone and your watch and whatever electronic devices you have, laptops, whatever. You stick them in there. You're not allowed to bring them into the skiff,
Hmm.
and that's the reason.
Yeah. What does that? What does that tell you? The military, they know. It's like they're not stupid.
No, and what was it? Better try again. Says very easy to lose your transaction or lock your money. Absolutely. I mean, look. Jeff, freaking, trying to make a transaction, $700. Yeah, all right, in 7 days.
Yeah.
Coinbase and a lot of these centralized exchanges, they've locked people's funds before, and not over anything, the government or law enforcement made them do. I mean, they do that too.
Mm.
I've heard of people just because there was suspicious activity on their account was locked. And some of them I heard that they were still fighting it, but some people, they were like, it was months or years before they were able to get their account unlocked, showing proof of who they were and, all kinds of different stuff. I'm like, holy shit. So,
God
yeah,
damn.
dude, the three things I learned from this, I'm going to summarize it real quick. And I want to hear again, I want you to summarize, if you learned any lessons from this, and in the chat, let us know if you have any lessons. So yeah, and you can do Faraday bags and Faraday cages as well. Yes, better try again. So I learned buy Bitcoin, which I started doing. I learned keep my liquidity off of exchanges because I can just swap for stables, off exchanges to lock in my profits. And DeFi, as I am going to be heavily leveraging DeFi for pretty much everything in crypto now. This crash showed me where my money or my liquidity is safest, and it's in DeFi. DeFi, Bitcoin, and to an extent, stables. Because I don't have a whole lot of faith in the U.S. dollar. I will be, keeping some USDC, USDT, USDE, and things like that to do some, DeFi with. But yeah, I think Bitcoin and probably Ethereum. I'm going to take a lesson from David and do what he does with Ethereum, using Pendle and a lot of the revert and a lot of the strategies that he uses to earn his
Yeah.
living. I'm really gonna dive in deep and do a master class on David's strategy.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you were gonna start dipping your toes into that now, since this whole crash and you buying more Bitcoin. That would be a good thing to start doing, even if it's 10, 20, 30 grand worth of assets. You're at least gonna start building that up and getting that. Yeah, it's the DeFi, man. That's, I mean,
Yeah, more
not
and
not
more.
being spread into bullshit assets too. Even though, I have that one bag of XPL and trillions in the liquidity pool. That's the only kind of like moon
Long
bag, I
shot.
guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
long shot that I'm really fucking with. So,
Hey, Seth
um,
Seth Seth Shepard. David is the one of the DeFi gurus that we have on Wednesdays. We have Jake Call and David from DeFi University, and they come on every Wednesday, and we talk about basically advanced strategies in DeFi. So if you want to have your mind blown on things you can do in DeFi, and as far as delta neutral positions, or measuring deltas, and hedging your positions, and all these different things in DeFi, um, to really mitigate your risk and maximize your gains, show up on Wednesdays, brother. You'll see some shit or hear some shit. So two very, very successful guys in DeFi. Jake Call actually developed Metrics Finance, not himself, but he paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to developers, his own team of developers that he hired to build Metrics Finance. And he's on every Wednesday. Young guy, super freaking smart. I would guess late 20s, early 30s, but dude's
yeah,
freaking way smarter than me in DeFi. And then David, and he's just on another level. He's like a savant. He's like the Rain Man of DeFi. But yeah, I dropped my crypto the other day, and he's like 5,623. It's like,
He really is,
So
man. He's on it.
yeah, he really is on another level. So Jay, I just made one out of an old microwave.
The
What is he
Faraday.
making?
Yeah,
Oh,
test the Faraday bags and stuff. Because I know that some claim that they're good, but they don't really work. And I can share in the Discord some different meters that can test for EMFs and radio frequencies. So if you want to buy one, some are a little bit expensive, but if you want to buy one and test different Faraday bags to make sure that it works properly, because you want to test and not just guess with stuff like that.
and you could probably just go online and go to a couple of forums and stuff, and you'll
Yeah.
get some real Faraday nerds, and I say that in the best possible way. But you'll get some Faraday nerds, and they'll have some that they recommend. So I would just go in there. It'd just be cheaper just to buy
Yeah.
something that's tried and tested than it would be to buy something and then have to buy a tester and test it, and it's I'm all about just finding the smartest person in the room and being like, "Hey, what should I get?" It's like
Yeah.
it's just the easier way to go. It's like I said. I mean, it's kind of what we do with this channel. Like I said, I'm not. I mean, I definitely know my DeFi, but I'm not a David. I'm not a Jake on this channel. I'm not an airdrop guy. We got together because it was like, hey, fucking DeFi and airdrops, they goes perfectly together.
Hmm.
You find the early projects, and you're able to get free crypto, and then take that free crypto and DeFi it. Which we're about to start doing. But then you start getting people, like David, like Jake, that are subject matter experts. Taylor, my brother, he's has a couple of his own law firms doing estate law, small business consultation, all that kind of stuff down in Texas. And he's a subject matter expert. He has a title company, so has his finger on the pulse of real estate. He's in DeFi and traditional investing. His business partner, Texas Jeff, for decades has been a licensed financial advisor. And so, I mean, we seek out these subject matter experts to bring you the alpha, because there is no way that I'm going to be able to be as knowledgeable as you or Texas Jeff or Taylor or David or Jake, on all these different topics. I mean, just one is enough to fucking dedicate your life to, becoming an estate lawyer with the experience that Taylor has. That's a lifetime. That would take a lifetime. There's no way to, you'd spread yourself way too thin. So I just resigned myself to the fact that, what? I just need to find these interesting people and give them a platform, as what we're doing with this channel.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I've been in the space for
Plasma's
half a
pumping.
decade,
Somebody,
and man, it's the stuff I've learned in just the past year has been way more than what I've learned in the past since I've been in. Um, and I mean, especially with David joining the group, man, with the just showing how and being transparent with his portfolio too, and
yeah,
showing step by step on how to earn a living off of your DeFi portfolio. I mean, that's you have to pay tens of thousands of dollars for access to stuff like that.
that's what I keep telling people is, I mean, pretty much every crypto channel out there that's offering the service that he is, you have to pay like $10,000 or more per year for that service. Daily live question and answer sessions, hour long question and answer sessions, with where he's giving lessons, on how he earns his living in DeFi. Just online courses, just the whole university that he's put together and resources that he's put together for $97 a month is, I mean, it is other than free. other than our little hodgepodge, 12 episode, here's your intro to DeFi, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed doing it. And it's great info to introduce you to DeFi and what is a protocol? What is DeFi? How do what is a cold wallet? What is a hot wallet? Just the very basics. But if you want to really learn from somebody who genuinely, if they have to make a profit or they go hungry, not that he's, living on shoestrings or anything, but you know what I mean? It's if he's not more, if he doesn't get it more right than wrong, then he starts going broke and his wealth keeps rising. So he's doing something right. And again, that's how I've been successful in life personally is I don't try to figure shit out on my own. I find people that are knowledgeable in something. I align myself with them, make them a mentor, and exchange either my time or my knowledge as currency to get them to teach me what they know. Again, I did. We're doing it with each other because you're learning DeFi, I'm learning airdrops. Taylor, just all these people that in a network. That's why community is so important. That's why the Discord. I know we're kind of shilling our own stuff here, but that's why our free Discord is so powerful.
Oh, we covered topics and projects from the Discord from people recommending it or shouting it out, and we're like, oh shit, let's take a look. Or trades. Some people made a bunch of money in trades.
Hey, are you having a problem on VFAT right now? Because I can't get my liquidity out. I mean, how reassuring that is whenever I'm having an issue with a platform or my wallet and I go on to Discord and I ask our community, hey, is anybody else having this issue? And people start popping up. Oh, yeah, I've been having that issue for about an hour or two now. It's like, oh, okay, it's not just me. I'll just chill out, wait till they, wait till they get it fixed, and I'll try again in 30 minutes. I'll go, play a video game, work out, whatever. I'll come back in a minute. Yeah. And dude, that is so awesome. I don't know what you're talking about pumping on plasma. I just went to the plasma chart. If you consider pumping going from like 48 cents to 49 cents.
It's like the XRP pumpers that I see going from 230 to 240.
They zoom in like on the 1 minute, or, the 30-second fucking.
The bull runs back, baby.
And it's like it's gone up like 1 point something percent, in fucking the past 24 hours. And they're like, XRP's pumping. Here we go. Moon symbol, rocket ship.
Oh, I love it. It's so.
Oh, dude!
You got to get their paycheck, man. They got to get that XR paycheck.
It's like, and I actually, and not just to call out XRP, I've actually started getting pissed at some of the Plume people too. I am very bullish on Plume.
Oh yeah, $10 Plume in January.
And not just that, but like people will post news from months ago and be like, "This is it. This is going to send Plume to the moon." And it's like, dude, that was news like 3 months ago. That's not new. It's like, please don't cheapen the project with fucking hype, because you're trying to get fucking engagement.
Oh my God.
Hey, what up, Deadwood? Good to see you, brother.
D-Dub. Oh, Ricky caught it at 39 cents on the plasma. Hey, that's nice. I mean, that's a nice gain. You caught it.
Okay, Ricky. All right. I sorry, man. I saw somebody saying it was pumping, so I went to the chart because I was thinking it was in the process of pumping. But yeah, okay. If you got a 37 cents,
a nice dip. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you got it perfectly, brother. No, that was a beautiful catch because the furthest down plasma got was about 30. Looks like about 30 cents. Is what
it had a wick on 25 on Friday.
On Friday?
That long wick.
Well, the one that I'm seeing on CoinMarketCap, it's showing 30 cents is what it wicked down to.
Yeah, I'm looking on TradingView. This is on, because it was on Binance.
That's what I'm saying, though, dude.
Binance. Fuck.
It's like Binance is like fucking the root of all the evil, man.
Okay, okay. Wow.
That's what I'm
Damn.
saying, dude. But I'm gonna check on my longs real quick. What are my longs doing? Oh, they're down. I was up to about $100. I have 2 Bitcoin longs in. My liquidation level is at $100,000 on both of them. I got a 7x and an 8x long, and they were both together up to about $100. So I got about $500 in one and $200 in the other, and I'm just using it as a way to boost my Bitcoin earning because I'm just FOMOing into Bitcoin now because I'm an idiot. Um, but I just want to I'm leveraging up a little bit, I guess, because I'm going
Mhm.
to see if I can churn this $800, and I'm just going to let this ride. I might shave some profits out as it goes up, but for the most part, I'm going to use it as a Bitcoin farm because I don't unless something seriously major happens, I do not see Bitcoin going below $100,000 again.
Yeah, or at least not for an extended period of time. And I
Well, I
mean,
don't
you're
even see
better
it
you're
wicked
better
down to
than
that.
Michael Saylor buying the tops.
Well, dude, look what fucking just happened. I mean, $20 billion liquidation, and the lowest it went was 101, 102 was
Yeah,
like the lowest recorded. And that was on Binance. So,
yeah.
dude, I mean, yeah,
And the
I mean they would have
200-day
to be
moving average is right at 108. So, and it's still
right.
pretty holding up pretty good. Damn, we've been over 100K for over 6 months now.
Yep.
Holy shit.
It's just such a huge like psychological level.
Wow.
I purposely set my stop losses at $100,000 because I mean I'm
Mhm.
like psychological. I mean without even looking at charts or pulling fibs or doing anything crazy. I'm like
Mhm.
$100,000. I guarantee you is this massive level of support.
Yeah.
It's just there was such a big deal made about Bitcoin making it over $100,000. So, and you know how emotional people are. So, there's probably a ton of freaking buy orders in at 100,000 and shit like that. But
Yeah.
so no, I'm just gonna let them ride, see what happens.
And Josh was saying he still doesn't see his flight school bonus.
Hey, Josh, have you gotten with? Because I swear that maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was somebody else, but I told them to get with support
Oh, this
because,
is the Bitcoin way? I think she had issues that
well,
was
yeah, that's exactly who it was. Man, you got a memory, dude. Yeah, it
a
was. This is the Bitcoin way, and I'm wanting to say Ellie might have had an issue too, but
okay.
I put her in contact. Like I actually got a hold of somebody that I verified was Coinbase support, and supposedly she got squared away because it's in your wallet. It's just not showing, and there was something that was preventing that. And it's been so long, and I'm old and been hitting the head a lot, so I
He's
forget.
had a lot more hits to the head than me.
Oh, dude, my freaking my dome is. I got so many scars on my head from getting hit in the head.
Oh fuck.
Oh, all right. I didn't hear anyone say I'm pissed that I couldn't sell. Yeah, yeah, Ricky. That honestly did not even cross my mind. Is when I opened my screen and I saw the dip, I missed the big dip, but it was still in the middle of dipping, and I was just doing nothing but trying to swap. I was trying to buy. I was trying to move out of assets that um, weren't as affected into good, strong assets that went way down. Like KTA. I was trying to move some of my arrow into KTA. wouldn't fucking work. Because the way I looked at it is, things were going to rebound. And when they did, I would make some profit. If I'm taking it out of something that only dipped 10%, put it into something that dipped, 40, 50%. When it comes back up, I can sell. If it comes back up that 40, 50%, I can sell and buy back that other asset, and I'm still up on both assets.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my logic. And so I'm trying to do anything. I got one long in, and I think I got one swap in. But that was all I could get. Oh, no. I bought a Bitcoin. I bought $5,000 of Bitcoin. That was the one buy I was able to get in.
Um. Oh man, I was gonna say something. Fuck, I just blanked on it. Seth Shepard said I had 2 major concussions, played a lot of sports, probably why I was obsessed with ADA for so long.
Dude, Seth, don't. Dude, I was obsessed with XRP for fucking 4 years. So don't feel bad, brother. I mean, yeah, I'm glad you got out of ADA. If people hold ADA out there, you know what? I don't have anything overtly negative to say about ADA other than tell me about ADA. I can't think of a single thing that they're leading the charge in. Their DeFi is terrible. They're late to the game. Not a ton of stable coins, if any, that are on Cardano. Um, Name me a project. Name me anything that Cardano is the leader in. If you go to rwa.xyz, are they even in the top 10? Are they
I
even
don't
on
think
the
so.
list? Let me
Yeah,
look.
probably not. I don't think they have any RWAs on there.
I mean, XRP is number 10. Stellar is number 8. ZK Sync is number 2. Not to say, and I'm not saying these are bad projects, but I mean, Cardano is what, like number 8 or something like that by market cap? Number
Yes,
10.
top 10. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it's 10, number 10.
Yeah. Number
Damn.
10 by market cap, and just not even in the fucking running. Let me look it up. All right. If I look up Cardano, it doesn't even pop up. ADA, it's not even on rwa.xyz. So there's no fucking tokenization going on. There's no DeFi to speak of. I mean, here, let's go to DeFi Llama. Let's see.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I got so tomorrow will be the I think the claim opens up for our first airdrop
Ooh,
on the channel
nice.
wallet. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So we'll get to find out.
there's the
Where's
largest
it at?
the largest DeFi on Cardano is Liquid, and it is $90 million. The second one is MinSwap. Sounds like a gay porn site, and that's 53 million.
Men's
It doesn't it though. It sounds like a gay porn site, or like a gay swinger site.
Oh man,
Men
that's so
swap
funny. Only on Cardano.
only on Cardano, freaking gay swinger porn. Um,
Oh,
so
is that what ADA is? A dick and ass?
oh,
Oh.
dude, you need to work that into your stand up.
Oh
There, it
shit.
would be it'd be very niche comedy. People that
Yeah, very
understand
niche.
crypto, very very niche.
Oh man. Oh,
Yeah, there is next to no fucking DeFi. Uh, Total 305 million total DeFi on Cardano. To
wow.
put that into perspective, motherfucking perspective, let's pick something. Solana. Solana has 11.7 billion. Binance 9.2 billion. Tron, which is pretty much nothing but stable coins, 6 billion.
Damn.
Plasma that just barely launched. How does this fucking token keep going down? They've only been live for a couple of weeks. $5.4 billion
Who?
that they TVL that they have. It is insane. I don't fucking get it. Base 5 billion. Arbitrum 4 billion. Sui 2.2 billion. Hyperliquid 2.2 billion. Avalanche 2 billion. Linea 1.2 billion. Linea. Fucking Katana has more fucking at 567 million. Katana.
Jesus.
If you held a gun to my head, I couldn't tell you what the hell Katana is. And they have $567 million of freaking TVL. They have
Yep.
almost double what Cardano has.
They've been pushing a lot of DeFi stuff, and they've had some pretty decent rewards. I've done some campaigns
Okay, then
on
maybe
with
then maybe
them.
it's just me. I'm
Yeah, but
like I said.
they don't really put out a lot of stuff, like promote a lot of stuff or market like that. But they're fairly new, and Cardano's been around a decade now. You know.
Well, let's see what Katana is. Katana, is it Katana Finance? No, they don't even come up on Coin
um,
Market Cap.
no, I don't think they have a token themselves.
Okay,
Um,
okay,
yeah, but it's
but
a
it, it's
it's a blockchain network.
it's a chain.
Yeah, DeFi. Oh, on their Twitter, it says a DeFi chain forged to bring dead bags to life via deep liquidity and real yield. Incubated by Polygon and
Oh
GSR.io.
shit, Josh, that's right. You've been fucking you went black. It went dark on us for a while. Yeah, fucking Jeff is a stand-up comic, dude. Like freaking, we just barely found this shit out. Like I've known for like a month or two, but I mean, shit, we've been doing this show together for like a year. I just found out like a month or two ago. Jeff
Yeah.
does stand-up. He has a YouTube channel that has a couple of his stand-up acts on it, and he just flew out
Yeah.
to fucking Austin, Texas, to the Comedy Starship. There where fucking Joe Rogan's place, and was trying to get on Kill Tony.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get picked, but I
You
do
know
plan on
what,
going
dude?
back sometime.
But you know
Just
what,
trying to
dude?
get.
You threw your
I was
dick in the ring.
there.
No,
Yep.
dude, you
I
threw your
swung
dick
my
in the
dick
ring,
out.
dude. You were like, "Fucking, I'm here."
Yep. Pick me.
you
Pick
like
me.
you knocked on the door. They answered, and you said, "I'm here for the gangbang."
I'm here for. They're like, oh, it's too big.
Yeah,
Sorry. Come back another time.
gang, gangbang's full. Gangbang's full. Uh, Bluefin is at 8 cents. Bluefin has a token?
Yeah. Yeah. And Ricky, we did a whole Sue deep dive last week. If you want to
Yeah,
check
and
that out. I
Bluefin
don't
was
remember if
part
you
of
were
it.
there. Yeah, Bluefin was part of it. Um, but damn, yeah, that was ooh, nice little haircut they took.
Yeah, no, I'm just honestly, like I said, I mean, pretty much from here on out, any yield that I earn from anything is going into Bitcoin and stable coins. And as if we get an alt season and my alts pump, all of it is going into before I was just going to do stables, but it's going to be Bitcoin and stables. If I see a dip on Bitcoin, I'll use it to DCA, like a portion of it into Bitcoin, and then a portion of it will go into stables. But I'm going to alter my exit plan a little bit, after seeing what I saw on Friday.
Yeah, I'm not really going to be taking a lot of risk on super high APY shit or any other kind of altcoins other than what I've been in, just because I've been earning so well with them, and they haven't
Mm.
even Black didn't really take that big of a hit, and I was like, okay, because I thought about moving out of that, but if it's still earning full range like it is, and
I
um,
didn't touch mine. I've actually been peeling off little bits of my profits though from Black because I had about 2 grand and I took about 600 to do these longs that I'm doing, and I'm sitting at 1,300 right now. So my I'm like $100 off, pre Friday dump, and I actually have $75 sitting in earned yield that I could fucking compound back in, and I'd only be down $25.
oh, nice,
No, dude,
yeah,
it's that USDC Black is a machine, dude. I will never fucking close that fucking position as long as it's making the 300. It's been hovering. Has yours been hovering around 300%?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you even said that you wouldn't consider closing it out unless it went under 100%, right? Like if it
What's
dropped
that?
down that low, you said you wouldn't consider closing it unless it went down to 100% or lower.
Yeah. I mean, if it went if it went down, well, it's beat down as the price is, and the fact that it's full range, I probably just wouldn't close it. I mean,
Mm.
unless the market starts pumping, like if I see Black start doing like 20-30% in a day, I'll probably pull it out. If I see any of my alts start to do 20-30% in a day, like over multiple days, like 48 hours or 36 hours,
Yeah.
if I see, or 72, excuse me, um I'll probably pull everything and just go spot with everything.
Uh,
That's
yeah.
that's my plan. Is it a perfect science? No. Is it easy? Yes. I'm not gonna lie.
Sometimes the
It's
best plan's the easiest and the simplest, It's
in the military. We always say, keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
There's no need to overcomplicate shit. The more complicated it is, the harder it is to execute. Freaking keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. um
All right. If any of you out there have your kids listening or anything, give them earmuffs for the next while. I've had a couple of drinks and I'm not responsible for what comes out of my suck.
what kind of wine is that?
This one is Alamo. It nothing fancy. It's like $10, $12. I honestly, my palate is not refined enough to be able to tell the difference between a $10 bottle of wine and a $200 bottle of wine. I've had super expensive wines before, and there's subtle differences. Not
Hmm.
enough for me to spend $200 for a bottle of wine.
Yeah. No.
I've honestly had homebrewed wine that was better than freaking $200, $300 bottles of wine I've had.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, Seth. Dude, Apothic is one of my favorites. Apothic Dark and Inferno. Inferno, they freaking aged the wine in old whiskey barrels. So it has a little bit of heat to it, like a little bit of a whiskey, hint to it. Dude, that with
Ooh.
a simple steak, put a little bit of beef tallow in a cast iron skillet, get
Ooh.
it on get it on a campfire, get that thing piping fucking hot. Throw that tallow in there, wait, about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, because that's all it's going to take. Throw a fucking thick ass steak on there that you dry brine first, for about an hour or two at least. But you put kosher salt on both sides. Let it get to ambient air temperature. The warmer, the better, because it's going to soften up the connecting tissues and the fat on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Give it some salt and pepper, nothing more. Slap it in that fucking cast iron skillet with a weight on it, with like a hamburger weight or a steak weight on it, so it keeps it pressed, evenly on the cast iron, and
Mm-hmm.
you get that nice, even fucking caramelization on the one side. Flip it on the other side, do the same, pop it off. Dude, I lived off those for probably about 8 months while I was building my cabin. When I was living in a tent, I just
Oh,
had a
yeah.
cast iron and a cooler, and I just had a bunch of steaks with dry ice, and I would just pull a steak out at night, throw it on there, and had a can of Bush's baked beans with bacon, and I just
Yep.
had I had
Yep.
bacon and beans and a thick ass steak every fucking night.
Yeah, the protein and carbs, man. That's
Well,
a good solid like, and that's hearty too. You get nice and full off that, man. You don't need a whole lot.
Well, and my neighbor has like the most amazing garden. She's from Thailand, and he's an old hippie that's lived up here for 40 years. And so they have like the most amazing garden. And they just told me, they're like, if you want anything, corn, squash, whatever, strawberries, raspberries, fucking, have at it. And carrots, potatoes, onions. And I would go over
Probably way
there.
more than they can eat. You know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, dude, I was just like living off the land, and the meat I was getting was all local cattle. And so, like the property adjoining to mine is a cattle rancher, so I can like go to him and get, like I can go and stare into the eyes of the cow that's going to be my steak if I want.
Oh shit! You get real familiar. Just don't name
Oh
it.
yeah, no, I can go to the fence. I can sit on my little island on the creek, drink a beer, and be like, I'm going to name you Fred, and you're going to be delicious.
Like, which part am I gonna eat first?
Yeah. Hey, Seth Shepard, if you're interested, dude, what got me doing this whole YouTube thing, my first episode was my brother Taylor, that's on the Monday show now, was the Thursday show. He convinced me. He told me that people might find my story interesting, about selling, retiring from the military, selling everything. I had a huge house and wakeboard boat and rental properties. I sold it all, lived in my truck, toured around, the Pacific Northwest and surrounding states, found my dream property, and lived in a Coleman dome tent and built my cabin that I'm sitting in now, um, myself. I didn't hire anybody to do it. I hired my neighbor to be the foreman. He's been doing construction for 40 plus years. And basically, I had him sit in a chair and drink beer and tell me what to do. And I built this place myself. And it was just always a dream of mine to build my own cabin in the woods. And so I did an episode on it, and I have a bunch of pictures, like during all the different stages. And I, basically went through the whole process and explained, getting the owner builder permit and the septic permits, and, just all the different things that you have to do it, in case anybody was interested. So if you want, go back and take a look.
Dan, how long have you been in that uh,
Dude,
property now since it's been
I've,
built?
I've been here over 10 years now.
Shit.
It's time flies, dude. Like,
Damn.
it seems like a lifetime ago that I was in the military. Like honestly, it feels like another life.
Yeah. Well, and you haven't had any major problems with the cabin or anything like that since? No?
The
Damn.
only problem that I was having, and it was, I enjoy the learning process of just always having to make things better and improve things, because everything I do has a direct impact on my quality of life. So, like my pump house for my well, I actually dug. I have about a 20-foot well, and I half of it was dug by the excavator that helped me do my foundation. But the rest of it I had to do 10 feet down by hand with a shovel and basic to get down there. And then they use these huge cement, they're called tiles. And it's basically just sections of tube that you put down to shore up the hole to make sure it doesn't
Mhm.
collapse in.
Okay.
And so I had a pump house, but the pump that I had, I put it in the pump house with my pressure tank that pressurizes the system, because the pump actually pumps water out of the well into the pressure tank, this giant pressure tank, and the
Mhm.
pressure tank is like a huge bladder. It's a metal, like a metal egg, and on the inside there's like a thick rubber bladder, and then there's air pressure in
Oh,
between the tank and the bladder. So whenever the pump inflates the bag, it presses against that air pressure. So whenever
okay.
it stops pumping that water in, then that air pressure plus the rubber bag pushes the water to pressurize your water system. And I had
Okay.
that in the pump house, and it gets like -30 here. So one Christmas, I spent the Christmas weekend rebuilding my pump house because it froze solid because the electricity went out while I was sleeping, and
Oh,
the
shit.
heater wasn't able to keep it warm enough, so it all froze solid, and the whole thing exploded. All the piping, all the pump, all of
Oh,
it exploded.
shit.
So I was
Yep.
out there like 30 below, fucking, rebuilding my pump house so I could have running water. And honestly, I was smiling the whole time because it was just like, what a cool life experience, to be able to do these things and to, have these experiences. And I mean, I have like a million stories about being up here. The first week I was up here, me and my dog Kraken were sitting by the fire, and I had just gotten done cooking and eating my steak and beans, and I'm just enjoying the fire and drinking a beer and just kind of sitting back and kind of going over my day and thinking about what I need to do the next day, and just watching the fire, just that mesmerizing, freaking hypnotic, movement of the fire. Because I'm 45 minutes from the nearest town, so there's no noise pollution, there's no light pollution. I'm looking at the stars, watching the flames, looking at the silhouettes of the trees. I have no cell reception, so there's no internet, nothing to distract me. And dude, my dog starts growling, and I'm like, "What the hell?" And then all of a sudden, he tucks his tail, comes over, and like gets up against me and starts like whimpering. And he's this huge, long-haired German Shepherd. Like, I mean, he's a
Mhm.
big dog. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I see a set of eyes fucking show up like out in the trees.
Mhm.
And then I see another set, and it's moving like through the trees, and then another set. And basically, it ends up being a pack of wolves. And it's around here they call it the well, I won't give the name, but it's basically a pack of wolves, and this is their territory, part of their very large territory. But they used my property to move from the mountains down to the creek and to try to get to the cattle. And so
Oh.
this was like their pathway, and they were just used to no humans being here. And I haven't seen them since. But
Huh.
I I pulled my pistol out, and I've racked it because I don't carry one chambered, and I just sat there, and I was just like, I'm not going to shoot first, but if they come at me, I'm gonna start shooting. And
Mhm.
honestly, it was probably maybe 30 seconds. Felt like 15 minutes, but it was probably like 30 seconds, and all of a sudden the eyes just started disappearing into the trees. And again, I haven't seen them since.
Damn. They probably knew. They're like, we're not gonna fuck with it.
No, dude, most wildlife want nothing to do unless they're starving. If it's the middle of
Yeah.
winter, and yeah, if wolves are hungry, they get a lot more bold. But for the most part, you're never gonna see a wolf. It's very, very rare you're gonna see a wolf.
Yeah.
I mean, I see deer, I see turkey, I've seen a couple of bobcats, I've seen mountain lions, I've seen all kinds, bear, I've seen hell, I don't know how many bear turds here since it's the fall, and they're trying to get as much food as possible before they go into hibernation. I don't know how many bear turds I've found around the property while I've been out working, but yeah, it's just you just don't see wolves.
Yeah. Unless you're provoking them, they're just like, we don't want to
Not
fuck with
even
you.
provoking, dude. I mean, like they won't even be around for you to provoke. I mean, unless they're like hungry, they're not
Hmm.
gonna. They want nothing to do with humans.
Move stealthfully.
Pretty much, but well, shit, man. I got on a fucking huge rabbit trail there, but that's. I mean, as far as crypto, I mean, that's about all I got for everybody out there. I wanted to, share that. I evolved. My crypto thesis evolved. And I'll give my closing thoughts, and we can just kind of let it naturally in from there. But I I'm aping into Bitcoin. I bought 5 grand worth. I got 2 longs open. I got my Coinbase card. All my bills are in my gas, my groceries is all earning me 4% on on my Bitcoin card in Bitcoin. I'm looking for as many ways as possible to stack Bitcoin after what I saw on Friday. I'm not selling any alts, not yet. I am not swapping out any of my bags
Hmm.
into Bitcoin, but all the yield from here on out is going into Bitcoin and stables. It as I ladder out, it's going into Bitcoin and stables. But what about you, brother? What's your closing thoughts?
Yeah. I won't get into Bitcoin quite yet, but I'm definitely gonna make sure I have some dry powder in in my wallets, my staking wallet, because I have a staking wallet that's separate from my airdrop wallet, and that's where I moved some funds to. But making sure I have some dry powder in case there's another leg down or another flash crash or something. But uh, making sure my DeFi portfolio isn't filled with a bunch of assets that I don't plan on holding, a long time, or that aren't going to earn me a decent yield. I mean, I don't have a ton of different liquidity pools open, so that's another good thing is having kept my liquidity pool positions minimal. I think I have like 3 or 4, or no, I think I have 5 in total, and the one riskiest one is the wrapped XPL and Trillions. That's the only one. The other ones are, Plume, Black, Linea, and there's another one I'm forgetting at the moment. But, it's not chasing these 1,000, 5,000% APYs, and just and I have some assets that have been locked up that unlock on the 17th, I think, and at the end of this month, that I'm going to be moving into some of my liquidity pools, just $200-300 worth, but moving them out of these other assets that aren't really worth a shit. So yeah, just seeing what I can reallocate, and yeah, just really sticking with uh, the simple stuff, like you said.
Yeah.
Not holding to like, oh, I'm gonna hold this in case it goes to Valhalla. No, no, uh, uh, I'll move into, you move some stuff around and keep my shit simple and that way, because when you get too many liquidity pool positions and all this stuff spread around, it gets hard to manage. And 20 wallets and
Oh,
shit.
I I thought
I
it
want
was
to
well,
consolidate
dude.
as much as I
I thought it
can
was me.
and keep it
I thought it was me.
simple and easy.
Hey Jeff.
I was trying. Oh shit! I'm crashing. Enough here
Hey Jeff.
to try and so
You're crashing out,
you know
man.
have at least 3 wallets with or for coin whole store. Um,
I think Jeff got rugged. Yeah. I thought it was me. I'm sorry. It's usually me because I'm on Starlink. So actually, I'm might be getting fiber here soon. So all the cutouts that I usually get, I thought it was me. So I was just letting him talk. So, but anyway, yeah. Let's go to Seth Shepard. So you were saying that simple and easy, not a lot, only $50 a week that you put into 5K at 110 2 weeks ago. Yeah, when it comes to DCN into Bitcoin, dude, honestly, you got to think of it from a long term mindset. It's like, yeah, it's only 5K now, but if it doubles, that's 10K. And over time, that $50 a week, if Bitcoin doubles, if we go from, say 110 to 120 or 115 to 230, excuse me, then, then basically that $50 each week you were putting in was $100 each week. So, we have to stop thinking about things in terms of the dollar. If you're going to reprice your liquidity into Bitcoin or gold or silver or anything else other than the dollar, we need to stop pegging our thinking to the dollar. You need to start pegging your thinking to Bitcoin or gold or silver. That's an appreciating asset as opposed to an inflationary. I don't know. Would you call the dollar an asset? Um, or a vehicle that's deflationary or inflationary. Sorry, excuse me. Been drinking. So, yeah, the dollar is losing its buying power. Bitcoin, gold, silver, pretty much everything else is keeping its buying power. And that's why I'm buying. And like silver, I've been buying since the 1980s. I have huge amounts of silver. Um, crypto, I have a decent bag. Freaking lead, I have a good amount. It's like I am always, real estate. I own my property outright. I have no debt. Um, I'm all about separating myself from this effed up system. I I'm starting to grow my own food. I'm learning. Meat, I locally source. Honey, I locally source. Eggs, I locally source. I'm trying to make my life as not dependent on trucking and shipping and all of those things as possible. If trucks stopped rolling and there was no groceries in grocery stores, I would be fine. I have months worth of dry food storage and food storage for me and the people in my life to where and that's without going out hunting or foraging or gardening or anything. Just with what I have stored. I have months worth of food. I could get through the winter, with what I have on hand. And of course, whatever I could, hunt and stuff, I can use to augment it. I have pasta and rice and beans and, ramen, and, a bunch of stuff, canned goods. And if I shot a deer, I could add some venison. If I shot a rabbit, I could add some meat. I highly, highly encourage everyone out there to some degree. Start out with 7 days. Have 7 days worth of food, water, medical supplies, a way to protect yourself. Doesn't cost a lot. If you just had, buy a couple of cans of chili. If you have a couple of cans of chili in the house, you can serve, if you have 7 cans of chili in the house, you can survive for 7 days. And you can throw those 7 cans in a pack with some bottles of water and a pistol, and you're good for a minute. You can shoot, move, and communicate for a minute to get to a better place. It doesn't take much. You don't have to get sexy. You don't have to get fancy. You don't need expensive gadgets. Keep it simple, stupid. And make sure
Hmm.
your family are set up because you never know what's going to happen. It could be a hurricane, it can be a tornado, it can be a flood, it can be societal collapse. It could be there's a riot going on outside and you don't want to go outside, because it's dangerous. There's looters and shit.
Hmm.
You don't know. If you're responsible for anybody's life other than your paper in Costco, be proactive and have a couple of rolls of toilet paper, stored up. It doesn't cost much. You know, like I said, a couple of cans of chili, a couple rolls of toilet paper, and a couple of flats of water. You're good for a minute. You can weather some shit. You can get somewhere. So I'll get off my soapbox. I see you're back now, Jeff. What's up, brother?
Yeah. No, I think because it's been pouring down rain all day today. Finally, we get some weather. Am I rugging again? I think I'm
It,
rugging.
dude, man, what the hell? It's like when you started
It's
talking, you were like,
it's been pouring all day. It's pouring down rain today, so the weather's been shit. I think it's fucking up the internet.
oh man, oh that's
Finally, we get
fucking
some rain in
hilarious.
Cali, and it's rugging me.
Hey Josh, I promise you I will send you that location, brother. I apologize, man. I'll send you that location so you can camp out, brother. But yeah, that think that the world is ending and I'm not building an ark or anything, but just do you really want to be that guy that you have a wife and kids or a wife or a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and some shit goes down and you don't even have a freaking can of food in the house. You don't have a bottle of
Mhm.
water. You don't have some aspirin. Or a way to protect your family. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sorry, but I mean, you're a sorry excuse for a husband or a father if you can't protect your family. You know, at least attempt it.
Yeah. Better be prepared than ass out when shit hits the fan.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, give us some thought. The moral of this story, this long, drawn out ass, rabbit trail filled, drunken ass story, is that buy Bitcoin, learn DeFi,
Mm-hmm.
have some chili,
Have some
have some water,
chili.
and get a pistol or a shotgun
And
or
your
something.
2A.
Yeah, and your 2A,
2A.
and let's do this shit. No. All
I
right.
second that.
All right.
I second that.
Any closing thoughts before we go, brother? Because we're over we're about to hit 2 hours now.
No, you said it well, man. That was about as perfect as we can get it.
All right, gold, silver, crypto, lead, food, water. Do it now.
Go, 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 go.
Go, 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 go. All right. Well, till next time, veteran crypto out.
Peace.